got up there, we could eat.
Mom kept running for a picture, kept running the rest of the family. Stan found them all at the house when it was remodeling. I looked at them, I tore them up in a hurry.
Oh my goodness, you should have brought them to the museum.
Oh, my marks weren't that good. I wouldn't want everybody in town to see it.
There were swings up at the school, weren't there?
Yes.
Yeah. Were they in the trees and
So Reaching Out to Seniors is a program that DesBrisay Museum wanted to do. It's a two-part program, and we did look for partners to help us make it happen. The two parts to the program, the first was an oral history project, and we wanted to interview seniors in Bridgewater to have them tell their stories and their reminiscence about early Bridgewater and their childhood, their experiences in the community.
And Main Street is where you did your shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever make pine needle houses?
We were very fortunate to acquire funding from the New Horizons for Seniors project. We put together a team of seniors from the community as a bit of a steering committee to give us advice, help us identify how we might approach the program.
Barb started talking about, wouldn't it be nice to interview seniors? And I said, yes, I'd really like to interview seniors. Okay, today is January the 31st, and I, Jean Fraser McCarg, am interviewing Merrill Sardi about his life as a farmer outside Bridgewater, Nova Scotia.
The little farm I talked about that we moved on to, we didn't have a lot of animals. We
I
had
see.
a pair of oxen, which was your way of life them times, you know, and cow, maybe a couple of head of young cattle.
I see.
But cattle didn't amount too much in it. But
Okay.
my father played the fiddle. That helped out a lot.
Oh,
because
is that right?
That was cash, you see.
I see.
And there was no money at them times, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, as teenagers, what did you do for fun?
Well, when we coasted a lot, we'd start
Where did you coast?
on out, had what we call bobsleds,
Yes.
and we started where the call center is, where the old hospital was.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, coast down, like Dufferin Street, and Mom
Right
would,
down Dufferin Street.
yeah,
Really?
and go in Miss Stewart's yard,
Wow.
because that building on the corner of
Yes.
Miss Stewart's wasn't there.
No.
Mom would say, don't you coast down to the main street.
Now tell me about going to school.
Going to school was a mile and a quarter walk in the morning, and then a mile and a quarter at dinner hour, and then a mile and a quarter back at dinner hour, and a mile and a quarter back. So it was a long trudge.
Now that the museum has the equipment, then there's certainly no reason not to keep on interviewing people and looking for more stories. And one person tells you about another person that would be a good person to interview, and it sort of mushrooms that way.
And it was so nice to be interviewed by someone that I knew, because I felt relaxed, and I think she felt relaxed too, and we could talk about stories. One thing would remind us of something else, and another person would suggest a topic, and then we'd be off again on another story.
They were recalling things that you wouldn't read in a history book or any books written on Bridgewater. They were personal experiences.
I was surprised at the older people that were able to relate some of the things that they remembered, and I think it's just a great thing to do, and I'd never seen any other town do quite what we're doing.
To date, we've had 22 interviews completed, and they are incredible. They're wonderful stories from local people in our community, videotaped and audio taped. So those stories are available now for us to have forever. The second component to the project that we wanted to do is what we call our Heritage Skills Project. So that was to bring together some folks in the community that still had some heritage skills and were practicing them, to record those skills and record how they did it. We had approached Brian Berganza of Heartwood to talk to us about how we might involve youth in the community in the videotaping of the Heritage Skills portion of the project.
I did a workshop for the museums back in September, Hartwood did, and Barb Thompson was there and said, you know, I want to do something with youth in the museum, and then she said that they're doing this heritage skills, they've got some funding to collect heritage skills, and so I went back to Gail and said, look, this museum's doing this, and so partly it came together.
One of the wonderful things about this project is the fact that we have young people and also an older generation working together for a common goal. And one of the advantages of that is that each generation can learn from the next.
We wanted to allow an opportunity for youth to interact both with seniors in the community and with our Heritage Skills folks. So it was wonderful that Brian was able to help us out, and he created a 10-week program to teach youth in our community not only videotaping skills but also employment skills and career skills.
You know, I do different activities with the group to build their abilities and skills, and then I also look at bringing in various technical support. So we've got professional filmmakers that are in teaching about the filming.
Well, I learned a lot about some of the heritage skills. I did a lot of participating at the end of each session and got to see how to do it.
Oh wow, this is nice. I like the colors on this. We had Myrna Reeves. She was doing rug braiding. That's right. Those are all pretty cool to watch, like the rug braiding especially. Like I didn't think it took that much work to braid a rug, but now I know better.
If I'm making a huge one, and I do have a huge one at home, I have made 10 by 12, believe it or not.
We met a lady that did chair caning, and she was very interesting because she had a lot to talk about.
About 1,000 feet.
I'm not really good at talking to people, so when it came time to do the interviews, I stepped up and actually volunteered to do the interviews so that I could get experience doing it, because that's usually the best way to overcome a problem, is to just keep doing it.
I thought the heritage skills were pretty cool. I never actually thought you could make lace just from some regular string.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask about the patterns, like do they have any significance to it?
Or male, you can still wear something that has these really nice quills on them.
I called my grandparents up to come in. They seemed interested in some of the stuff that was going on and knew some of the people there, so I thought they'd have a good time coming around, so I showed them around, and they very much enjoyed everything that was going on at the museum.
When I first went into the museum,
I did bring my son to the museum. He absolutely enjoyed it. He got to come here and he come in this room here and he got to actually see what was going on, which he took real interest in the spinning wool, because he went over and she handed him a piece of wool and said, "This is from my sheep." And he was like, "Oh, well, that's awesome." And he took a piece of the wool home and he really enjoyed it over here.
Museum had a job that they wanted to have done. They wanted some videotape and the heritage skills to go down in their archives. We had young people who needed skills and were looking for a particular job to work on. So through that, we can bring young people in with skill to do a job here.
We always love having young people in the museum because they have a whole different viewpoint of the community, of the museum and what it does, and they're able to bring new ideas to us, new experiences, and we hope that we've built a good relationship with them, a partnership, and that may extend beyond the project as well.
I think for the seniors, they're seeing young people in really positive, genuine ways where young people care and they're polite and they're helpful, which young people mostly are, and so it's a chance to break some of those stereotypes, both for the young people towards seniors in the community, but also for seniors towards young people.
It's really important for all of us, no matter what age we are, to feel like we're part of our community and that we're contributing to our community. And this is what this project has done for the young people. They've met a lot of people in their community that they may have never met before. They had a job a very important job that needed to be done, and they did it. It's a job that's going to go down in history. That will be here at the museum.
DesBrisay Museum now has an incredible resource of information about the community's early history. And it is the kind of information that you wouldn't get in a textbook. It's information about people's own experiences.
It's a benefit to have all of these stories being told by the seniors that are here when we can get them before they pass away, and we've missed a lot of stories already, so we want to make sure that we get the ones that are still available to us right now.
Thank you all for coming. It's really a thrill for us to have you here today at DesBrisay Museum. DesBrisay Museum has been wanting to do an oral history program for quite some time.
And the real value of what we're doing here, in my view, will not be appreciated until about maybe 40, 50, 60 years down the road.
When we keep our oral histories, they are the personal reflections of a time that we want to remember. And it's critical that we remember that, we record that.
We now have 20 some odd wonderful videotapes. We'll take captions out of wonderful stories that people have told us, things happening in the community that you would never know had happened. And the only way that we have a record of those is through your memories. I'd like to, if I could, have the interviewers just come up for a minute, and we want to say thank you to you. Huge number of hours they gave us to make this project happen. We brought in 7 folks who were doing heritage skills in the community, and these young people videotape the record of those skills and how they are done. And it means that we now not only can show a quilt, we can show how a quilt is made. And I want to thank all of you for doing that. I can't thank you enough for all you've done for this project. We really appreciate it.